Okay. Just get the microphone situation resolved here. All right, there we go. I know you guys are wondering, why am I doing this so early? Because this stream might be the longest one of the year when it comes to these pick streams. Because I'm going to dig into each matchup. Not as deep as I would usually do it. I mean, if you watch my previous streams like these, the last couple years, I would dig all the way in. I would go through the entire freaking team's depth chart and compare each freaking unit. But I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to simplify it. All I'm going to do is talk about like a key matchup to watch. What's up, Juan Dale says, well, glad baseball's over. Like I've said, I don't really care anymore about the Guardians. They got me to football season. That's all that freaking matters. I'm just done with them. Whatever. You know, is what it is. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my first NFL pick stream of the year. And as always, until further notice, these picks are for the Yinzer Max Sports and Stephen Rose tournaments. I've been in these tournaments now the last couple years. It's always fun to do them. I mean, I'm going to be doing these until either they tell me themselves that they're not doing them anymore, or until I just get bored of doing them. These are fun to do. They are. So, we're going to jump right in. Not going to waste a whole lot of time with these. Because like I said, I got a lot of stuff to go through. Got a full slate of games. We got a game Thursday, Friday, and then, of course, Sunday and Monday. That's just NFL, too. So, anyways, let's jump right in, starting with the game on Thursday as the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion for the second time, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys, as the Eagles will be revealing their second Super Bowl banner in front of old Jerry Jones and company. It's tough, right? That's gonna eat those dudes alive. Because in the time that the Cowboys have, in the time that the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl, the Giants won 2, and the Eagles have won 2. Now, luckily for Cowboys fans, the Redskins slash football team slash Commanders haven't even made it close to the Super Bowl since in that time, really. I mean, let's take a look and see of all the Super Bowl winners since the Cowboys won their last one, which has been a while. That's tough, right? What has it been? 20 seasons? 1995. Well, no, 96. Yeah. 96. They beat the Steelers 27-17. That was a good, 9 months before I was born? Wow. That's actually messed up. Yeah. I was born in October. Cowboys won it in January. Wow. Have they made it to the Super Bowl since? No. Now, in that time, let's see all the NFC East Super Bowl appearances since 1996. No, 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 no. 2000, 2000, 2001. Giants lost. That's tough. Yeah, 34-7 to the Ravens. No, no, no. Eagles lose 24-21 to the Patriots. Nope. Nope. Giants win in 2007. And then they came back in 2012, won again. And since then, the Eagles have made it twice, and that's it. Oh no, Eagles made it 3 times. Yeah. Since the Giants last won theirs, the Eagles have made it 352. They won 2 of them. Wait, my math is not mathing up right now. Since 2012, we had 2018 Eagles, and then they lose in 23, and then win in 20. Okay, so yeah, that's four. That's 4. Okay, so they've had 3 appearances, and it's tough, right? That's tough. So yeah, I mean, is there really like a matchup to watch in this series? In this series, think of baseball. In this game, yeah, actually, there's a pretty big one to watch. Believe it or not. Can the Cowboys defense to slow down Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, slow down Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and those receivers without Micah Parsons? They really don't have much of a pass rush. I mean, already they didn't have a pass rush. I mean, already they didn't really have much of a pass rush as it is. And then they trade away their pass rushers, according to our lads. Marshawn Nealand, Jesse Bates, Xavier Watts, who I wanted, AJ Terrell, and Billy Bowman Jr. That's actually a damn good secondary on paper. But you're going up against old Baker Mayfield, and the weapons he has. Oh my God, dude. Crazy looking. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin Jr., Emeka Buka at receiver. They just extended Luke Godecki, the right tackle. So he ain't going anywhere for a while. Kate, Bucky Irvin, White, and Sean Tucker as your main running backs. Solid looking defense as well. It's mostly the same unit, I think, for the most part. Logan Hall, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey up front. Hassan Reddick. He's no buck. Completely forgot about that. Wow. Levante David, still there. Servante Dennis, Yaya Diaby, Tyke Smith, Antoine Winfield, Jamel Dean, Jacob Parrish in the secondary. With Zion McCollum. Over under 46.5. Tampa Bay favored by 2.5 on the road. I'm gonna roll with the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks to beat the Falcons. Now moving on, we got the Dolphins and the Colts. Another interesting one here. Obviously, Denny Derps is now the quarterback for Indy. Call him Indiana Jones. Miami, obviously, and we know what they have. Tua, running back room has been beat up. Devon Achane is going to be the lead guy when he comes back eventually. If he isn't already back, I don't even know, to be honest. But I mean, it's going to be Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, D. Eskridge as your main weapons on offense. A little bit of Darren Waller. Okay. Good running back room. Defensively, they got a nice ass defense up front. Kenneth Grant, Benito Jones, Zach Seiler, and then Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb coming off the edge. Matthew Judon, Chop Robinson. Yeah, they got some nasty pass rushers. most likely their edge situation, their front four or front three, because they run a 3-4, will most likely end up being a Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, with whoever else inside there. It's going to be interesting to see what they stack up, what they look like. But Indy, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, and Josh Downs. All right. Jonathan Taylor at running back. You have Tyler Warren, Mo Alley Cox at tight end. That offense. But you have Danny Derps, and I don't know how far he'll be able to take you. Defense is interestingly. Defense is nice though. Woody Pay, Grover Stewart, Defoe Buckner, Leatu Latu. That's a solid front four. Joe Bocci, Zaire Franklin at linebacker. Travarius Ward, Nick Cross, Cam Bynum, Xavier Howard, and Kenny Moore II in your secondary. Clearly, this defense is going to be carried by their front four and the secondary. Say this, I don't know how many games Indy's going to win this year, but their defense is going to be nice if they can just stay healthy. Jim Bob Cooter, the OC, Lou Anarumo is the DC. Okay, they might have something. They're trying to be serious at least. Now, Indy's favored by 1.5 at home. I'm actually going to go advantage Indy here. Give me the baby donkeys, or the horses, I guess, or the Colts, to win this game in a rather tight one. Yeah, give me Indy. So just a quick rundown so far. I'm going Eagles on Thursday, Chiefs on Friday, and then Bucks, Colts so far on Sunday. Moving on, we got the Raiders and the Patriots. New England favored by 2.5. By the way, the over-under for Indy and Miami is 46.5. I'm going to go Indy, and I'm going to actually go over. For the other games, because I haven't really done that yet, Eagle, Chiefs and Chargers, give me the Chiefs. I'm going to say under. Bucks and Falcons, I'll say slightly under. Give me the Bucks under. Colts over. Raiders, Patriots. Obviously, the Raiders, they got Ashton Genty. I just saw they're going to probably look to trade one of their receivers. Las Vegas, New England, both teams bringing in new coaches. Pete Carroll versus Mike Vrabel. Need Chiefs, Broncos, and Rams to cover them from my parlay. Packers to Lions over 47 and Bills, Ravens over 50. It's going to be a chess match. Vrabel versus Carroll. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a chess match. For the Raiders, they got Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, who's probably going to get traded here soon. They brought back Amari Cooper for one more little go round, and Jack Beckett, receiver. All right, cool. Offensive line looks nice. Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, Jackson Powers Johnson, and DJ Glaze. Dude, DJ, like Miller, DJ that you hear at the club, that all he plays is techno. DJ Glaze. But yeah, Geno Smith is your starter. Ashton Genty at running back. Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, the other backup running backs. The Raiders could be a sneaky team this year. Defensively, you got Max Crosby and a few other really solid players like Jermaine Pratt at linebacker, Landon Roberts, cornerbacks, Eric Stokes, Caillou Blue Kelly, and Darnay Holmes. Interesting. Isaiah Polamau and Jeremy Chin at safety. All right, interesting. I like their defense. And going up against the Patriots with Diggs, Demario Douglas, and Keyshawn Butte at wide receiver for Drake May. I don't even mind their backup receivers. They have an interesting receiving core. Stephon Diggs, though, that's big, though. It's like they really went out and signed Diggs long term. It was a 3-year deal for Diggs in New England. That's going to be weird looking at. Will Campbell at left tackle, Jared Wilson at left guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, Mike Onwenu at right guard, Moses at right tackle. Solid unit up front protecting May, Ramondre Stevenson, Trey Henderson, and Antonio Gibson at running back, Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper at tight end. Really good offensive unit for the Patriots. Of course, they got Josh McDaniels back again to call the shots on offense. Defensively, you got Terrell Williams as your DC. Your unit isn't the worst I've seen. Of course, Christian Barmore, Kalavon Chason, Robert Spillane, linebacker, Christian Ellis, Harold Landry is there? Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Wow. Carlton Davis, Craig Woodson, Jalen Hawkins, Christian Gonzalez is back, and Marcus Jones in the second. This is going to be a pretty fun matchup to watch, I think. It's going to get the Giant defense. Real quick up front. That's where their games are going to be won and lost. Because if Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau, along with Dexter Lawrence, Raheem Nunez Roches, and Brian Burns, and Okariki and all them, if they're getting to the quarterback, they're going to win. Their secondary should have the easiest job in the world with that pass rush that they have. See how that goes. But actually going to go with the Giants to win this game. Yeah. G-Men go into DC and they beat the Commanders. I think it'll be close. Remember, they should have beat them last year, but they didn't have a kicker. Remember that? I think the Giants squeak it out. Russell Wilson pulls off some clutch magic like always, and they beat Jaden Daniels in DC. So give me the Giants to start the year 1-0. And then we got Panthers and Jaguars. This game is mid. Not really much to write home about from either team. Good pieces on both sides, but I'm gonna go Panthers to squeak it out on the road against the Jags. Give me Bryce Young and company. Jacksonville is favored by 3.5. Total 46.5. I'm gonna go Panthers and the under. And a shocker, like not a snooze fest, but it'll be a nail biter for sure. Giants. Yeah, give me the Giants overall, and give me the over. Yeah, Giants and the over. By the way, I'm going to go Steelers and the over as well. Then, of course, we wrap up the 1 o'clock slate with my team, the Browns, against the Bungles. I'm going to just say this right now. If you're the Bungles, right? If you cannot get to Joe Flacco, you're cooked. Your defense was ass last year. Hot, steamy, stinky ass last year. Not good. Your offense had to score damn near 30 points a game just to have a chance to win. I'm going to look at their schedule from last year. And we're going to dig in. What's up, CPG? I only have this backdrop because this is where the Super Bowl is this upcoming season. But yeah, I know seeing this gives you PTSD. But yeah, pick the Panthers if that's a good consolation prize. I picked the Panthers to squeak it out over the Jags, and I'm not just saying that because I want the Jags to go winless because we have their first round pick. I kind of do want them to be bad, but I think Bryce Young can have a really good year. In fact, I'll get into that game in in a little bit here, but at the Bungles from last year, again, they had to score a lot of points just to win games. And against the defense like Jim Schwartz, keep in mind, that first game last year, we were in the game the entire time. And that's when Deshaun got hurt, right? If our offense was somewhat competent last year, we beat them. We probably kicked their ass. That was actually, I think, the game that Nick Chubb came back. Yeah, and he scored. But you look at the scores of these games, right? They started off 0-3, lose 16-10 to New England, lose 26-25 to Kansas City, lose 38-33 time to Baltimore. So OBS last time. But as I was saying before I realized that I was buffering and I lagged out for a second, the Bungle defense has to be on their A game. Because if they're not, they're going to get cooked by Joe Flacco. People look at our offense on paper and they think, it stinks. Then again, Stefanski is the guy calling the shots. And last time we had that, this offense was pretty good. Got a good young running back room. Even without Judkins, it's still really good. Solid receiving core. Judy coming off a 1,000-yard season. Thrash and Tillman are solid. Isaiah Bond's a speedster. But the unit that I'm most excited about, like I said in my video earlier, the defense. If this defense is anything like it was a couple years ago, this team is going to be fun. Myles Garrett, Mason Graham, Malik Collins, Alex Wright up front. And then in the secondary, of course, you have Ward and Newsome with Mitchell at corner. Safeties, Ronnie Hickman and Grant Delpit. Really good unit. Now, if I had to name a matchup to watch, once again, Bungle offense versus the Browns defense. It's, again, going to be a chess match. The Bungles, of course, Zach Taylor, the head coach, OC Dan Pitcher versus Jim Schwartz. Dan Pitcher versus Jim Schwartz. Oh, boy. Al Golden's their DC. Yeah. Jim Schwartz, of course, is a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. So he'll cook up something real good, I'm hoping, against the Bengals. Yeah, Browns going 17-0. Manziel said he hopes the Browns go winless. Of course, he's a hater. I'm going to go Browns in the shocker here. And Browns win at home. And I'm going to go slightly over on the total. Yeah. The key is, can the offense do something on the opening drive and then the defense sets the tone? That's my key. Home goal offense versus the Browns defense. Should be fun. But give me the Browns. Not even being a homer. Give me the Browns at home. We've only lost to these stooges one time at home since 2018. Now going to the 4 o'clock slate of games. Titans and Broncos. This is easy. Give me the Broncos. No dice about that one. Give me the Broncos. At home, favored by 7.5. Total 42.5. Give me the Donkeys to beat the Titans. The Titans are going to be in the running for the number 1 pick again. They're not very good. And if and when they fire Bill Callahan, he needs to come back to Cleveland and be our O-line coach again. I'm sorry, not Bill Callahan, Brian Callahan. But still, Bill needs to come back here and be our OC or O-line coach again. That was fun. Then we got Seahawks and Niners in Seattle. This is another matchup I'm really going to dig into. I talked briefly about the Niners offense before, but again, their offense is going to be a key here. Seattle, defensively, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, Oh boy. Job, Julian Love, Kobe Bryant, Reek Woolen, and Devon Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon. But they're going up against a receiving core that's just patchwork at this point. Ayuk is injured, but you have Ricky Pearsall, Marquez Valdez Scantling, and they're trying to bring back Kendrick Bourne with Sky Moore. Like I said, it's just a mishmash, just a ragtag unit of dudes. Running backs are going to be nice, though. Brian Robinson Jr., Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Garando. Tight end, of course, George Kittle. I think if I had to say who has the advantage here, I mean, you got Sam Darnold versus Brock Purdy. I'm going to go with the Niners with the advantage on this one. Yeah. Give me the Niners with the advantage. And give me the Niners to win the game on the road. They're over. And give me the Niners. And then we got Lions and Packers. Oh boy. Now this is another one I'm digging into. I'm going to dig into this like a damn hyena on a dead animal. Or a lion on a giraffe. Or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Gotta watch what I say. I don't want to get demonetized, even though this stream isn't monetized. Uh, uh, uh. Hang on, I gotta wait for my stream to catch up. I don't know why YouTube Studio is tripping so hard right now. I don't want to get too far. Oh, YouTube Studio been tripping like crazy lately. I think my internet's just insanely slow. This is surprising. All right, so I had to refresh YouTube Studio. Let's see what it looks like here. If it ever decides to come back, of course. This time to get yourself a beverage. Okay, I think we're back. All right, so and it's lagging again. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand what the heck's up with YouTube Studio. Yeah, Lions and Packers. Like the Lions receiving core, of course, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and JMO. Highlight that unit. Running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Tight end, Sam Laporta. Of course, Jared Goff at quarterback. Defense is going to be nice. They added my guy, Tyreek Williams, in the draft. Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport up front. Secondary is still solid. Terry Arnold, Brian Branch, Herbie Joseph, DJ Reed, and Amick Robertson. Really good unit. Really, really good unit. I'm going to go with the Packers, I think, to win this game. Yeah. I like the receiving core. Jaden Reed, Golden, Dobbs, Malik Heath, Davian Wicks, Jordan Love, of course, at quarterback. Josh Jacobs at running back. Tight end, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. But man, their defense is nice, though. Gary, Carr Brooks, Devontae Wyatt, and of course, Micah Parsons up front. Secondary is solid. Nixon, McKinney, Evan Williams, Nate Hobbs, and Javon Bullard. Then it's a very, very solid up front unit. And I think I'm going to go with the Packers to edge this one out at home. They're favored by 2.5, total 47.5. Give me the Packers to beat the Lions. And then the final afternoon game, Texans and Rams in LA. I'm going to briefly talk about this one. Rams, we know what they got. Solid running back room. Good receivers, of course. They added Devontae Adams. And the defense is again solid. Texans, CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, although he's out. So it'll be Nick Chubb, ironically enough. Nick Chubb, Nico Collins, among others. Really good teams on both sides. But I'm going to go Sean McVay here to scout with Sam Bradford. I almost said Sam Bradford again. Ah, Matthew Stafford. Why is Sam Bradford the first name that comes up between those two? Give me Matthew Stafford and the Rams to squeak it out at home. Favored by 3.5. Total 43.5. Give me the Rams and the under. And then 8:20 p.m. Sunday Night Football, Bills and Ravens. Buffalo favored by 1.5. Total 50.5. The key matchup here again: Raven offense versus the Bills defense. I'm gonna go with the Bills to barely squeak out a win by the skin on their butt cheeks as they beat the Ravens on Sunday night in their last season at current Highmark Stadium, while new Highmark is getting built next door. So yeah, give me the Bills to squeak it out, and they're gonna go to 1-0 to start the year. And then Monday Night Football. By the way, I'm going Bills, and I'm gonna go over the 50.5. And then Monday Night Football, we got 8:15 p.m. Vikings and Da Bears. Minnesota favored by 1.5. Total 43.5. Bears, I got to dig into this roster a little bit. You know, once again, another season where they're looking like a promising team on paper. Minnesota, first year with J.J. McCarthy, fully healthy, ready to go. We'll see how things go for him. Obviously, DJ Moore's, Olamide Zacchaeus, Roma Dunze, Jade Walker, Devin Duvernay, Luther Burden at receiver. It's a solid receiving core. And they fortified their O-line. Braxton Jones at left tackle, Joe Tooney left guard, Drew Dalman at center, Jonah Jackson at right guard, and Darnell Wright at right tackle. Austin Loveland, tight end, DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson, and Kyle Monangai at running back. Of course, Caleb Williams at quarterback. But they're going up against a Vikings defense. Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Jalen Redmond, Jonathan Grenard, Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace, and Andrew Van Ginkel. That's their front seven. Isaiah Rodgers, Josh Metellus, Harrison Smith is still going, Jeff Okuda, and Byron Murphy Jr. in the secondary. Again, another really solid defense. But Brian Flores is their DC, going up against an offense ran by Declan Doyle. And Dennis Allen is their DC. And they have their special teams coach is Richard Hightower. Dick Hightower. Wow. Offseason champs against the Vikings. I think the Vikings, they send them back down to earth. Give me the Vikings to beat the Bears on the road in Chicago. And I'm going to say, yeah, they win. And then give me Vikings and the over. So just a quick recap, guys. I am rolling with Eagles and the over. I guess it doesn't really matter over or under, but Eagles, Chiefs on Thursday and Friday. I'm going to go Browns, obviously. Duh. No matter how bad we are, we always play the Bungles tough, especially at home. Yeah, give me the Browns, Bucks, Colts. Yeah, Colts, Raiders, Patriots. Yeah, I'm going Patriots at home. Yeah. Colts, Patriots. I'm going to roll Cardinals, obviously. Steelers, Giants, Panthers, Broncos, Niners, Packers, Rams, Bills, and Vikings. So there you go. Keeping this stream under an hour. And yeah, so I'll see you guys. My nose is itching like crazy. My God. In terms of my next stream, probably on Saturday for Buckeyes and Grambling State. So I'll be live tomorrow night for the recap stream of the Red Sox series, and then I'll talk about the Rays series again because they face the Rays again. But yeah, so should be fun. I'll be live on Saturday for that. So of course, turn on notifications. Post. Gotta see it. My brain is barely functioning. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and should be a fun week ahead here. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I will see you all tomorrow night or whatever for the series recap, series preview stream for the guards. And then I'll be live again on Saturday, right back here, for Buckeyes and Tigers, Grambling State. G Fuel? Wow, G Fuel is going away? That was like a YouTube content creator like combo right there. Every YouTube content creator, especially from FaZe, always with G Fuel. That's crazy. Peter Englert. Bold predictions. Okay. He says Commanders missed the playoffs, Chiefs losing the wild card. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence runs MVP. Bucks Chargers in the Super Bowl. Bulls and Baker lift the Lombardi. Zach Wilson plays more games than Tua. Daboll gets Coach of the Year. Daniel Jones gets Comeback Player of the Year. Browns go 8-9, finalizing Sanders as their QB of the future with 9+ starts in the season. Wow, then. That is bold. So yeah, guys, with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. And yeah, Browns football is almost officially back. I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are too. Shout out to Quandale, Daniel, Jacob, Rays, CPG, and anybody else watching. So with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go.